Let's discuss the second part now. All right, I'm ready. Great. Let's begin.
The big frog sighed and said, "I cannot do this anymore. It is pointless. No matter how hard we try, we are still going to drown." And with that, the big frog stopped swimming. Slowly, the big frog sank into the milk and disappeared. The small frog was heartbroken. The small frog had lost his best friend. For a moment, the small frog felt very sad and lonely. But even though the small frog was full of grief, he refused to give up. The small frog whispered quietly, "My friend, I will not let your sacrifice be for nothing." And so the small frog kept swimming. The small frog kicked his legs again and again, remembering all the happy adventures he had shared with the big frog. Hour after hour, the small frog continued swimming in the milk. Then suddenly, something amazing began to happen. Because the small frog had been kicking and swimming for so long, the milk slowly began to change. The milk started to thicken. Little by little, the milk was turning into butter. When the small frog noticed this, he felt a new spark of hope. The small frog pushed himself even harder. Finally, the small frog stood on the thick butter and gathered all his strength. With one big jump, the small frog leapt out of the bucket. The frog was finally free. But even though the frog had escaped, the small frog still missed his best friend very much. The small frog slowly hopped toward the forest, knowing that life had to go on. A year later, the small frog found a mate and started a family of his own. To honor the memory of his lost friend, the frog named each of his children after the big frog, so that the brave frog would never be forgotten. Every night, the small frog gathered his children and told them the story of their Uncle Frog. The frog would always end the story with the same lesson. Life is not always easy. Sometimes things become very hard, and it may feel easier to give up. But remember this, my children, as long as you keep trying, there's always hope. You may not always win, but you will never know what you can achieve unless you try. And that is the story of the two frogs. If this story inspired you, please share it with others and leave a comment. Thank you for listening.